Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. Welcome to Edwin and DJ, who are our newest members. They've got their badge in. I'll be gifting some of those in a little bit. But we've got a big show for you tonight for a Saturday night show. I mean, Saturday night for me is a bit of a chill out night and get into your comments. But we've got an update on Cesco. I mean, what a surprise. We've got more updates on Cesco. But we've also got, and the reason I'm a little bit late is Amorim, I didn't know, has done an interview with MUTV this afternoon and basically was just picking out the best bits that we could react to because this is big. We haven't had that many interviews from Amorim this season, and that big question mark is, in year two, will he become Ten Hag? Where in year one, you're quite on the front foot, you're quite aggressive, you're calling out the issues, and then in year two, you sort of get into line and back the board. Well, he's definitely backed INEOS in this meeting. Apparently, INEOS are backing him. I'll give you the exact quote from that, but Amorim, very confident, very positive, and very grateful to INEOS for backing him this summer. So are we about to see a new Amorim that we saw with Ten Hag? I mean, look, my message to Amorim would be, you spoke sense in year one. If you're now going to back the board, well, we've seen people do this before and it's gone really, really wrong. So I hope that's not the case. But it was really interesting, actually, listening to the interview, because remember the first week of July, and our source said to us that Amorim is really positive. He's really happy. He's really optimistic. And loads of people were going, why? Well, here he is, very optimistic, very positive. That's obviously the way he wants to be this season. So look, let's hope he's right. I mean, one thing that comes out of the interview that I would say is very, very honest and is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. And it's not from Amorim, it's the honesty that's great. Basically, he's just outed the disgrace that has been the last few years. I mean, there's things like fitness, nutrition. When people finish their dinner, they used to get up and leave, whereas now they'll wait for the last person and talk with each other. I mean, I can't get my hat on this. I cannot get my hat on that Manchester United Football Club, the great dynasty, the great legacy, Sir Bobby Charlton and all those great players, we've basically had a bunch of selfish shithouses playing for this club for 10 years. Why does Ruben Amorim have to set those standards? Why does he have to say, when you finished your dinner at Carrington, wait for everybody else and talk to them, don't get up and leave? Why does he have to set a nutrition plan? Why does he have to set individual fitness plans? What have we been doing for a decade? I mean, look, it's great that Amorim is sorting these problems out, but they're open fucking goals. I mean, people are knocking one out because Amorim's got the players looking lean. I'm more thinking, I've watched every game for the last 10 years with you lot. You're telling me some of these shit performances like 7-0 against Liverpool is because they're selfish fucking lazy twats who don't do gym work. And this is the great thing about glowing up the fact that, oh, we look so lean. What? We've all spent our time supporting this club for the last decade. You're telling me they're a bunch of selfish lazy shits who weren't doing any extra work on nutrition or fitness and had no camaraderie. I mean, it's shocking. It really, really is. Anyway, we'll get into that. A really good interview from Amorim. We'll talk about that. But Emily Derry with the super chat straight away. She's talked sense. She says, we also have to consider who Amorim's doing the interview for with regards to comments on the board. Yeah, MUTV. Mic drop. Okay, let me talk to you first of all about what's going on with Benjamin Cesco. So Manchester United will submit an offer for Benjamin Cesco once they secure his approval. So basically, if Manchester United get the go-ahead from Cesco, they will bid. This is why they have not bid yet. And apparently, Leipzig, according to Sky Germany, have neither rejected or accepted Newcastle's bid. So that's where we sort of are. Man United are in this race, but they won't bid until Cesco says he wants Manchester United. Newcastle have bid, but Leipzig have not rejected or accepted it yet. Basically, if Man United put a bid in, if Cesco says he wants United, United will put a bid in. Rob Dawson in the ESPN says if United miss out on Cesco, they could step up their interest in Ollie Watkins again, but the interest remains in Cesco and talks are ongoing with Leipzig. And that also the latest from Fabrizio is that well, I'll read it to you. It's easier to read it to. He says, Benjamin Cesco has still not made his decision on his future club. So according to my information and sources into Benjamin Cesco's camp, they tell me that the player is not decided yet. It's a really important decision for his career, for his life, for his future. And Cesco wants to take his time. He's not going to be it's not going to be a very long time. We're not talking about deadline day. But Cesco wants to make a decision in the next days as soon as possible when he has a 100% clear destination on who he wants to follow. So look, Leipzig had a game today. He didn't play. I do take on board what is he actually thinking about. I think you have to take that and say, what is he actually thinking about? Because I'm not even going to be biased here. And Liverpool fans will want him to choose Newcastle because they want Isak. But Liverpool and Manchester United are far and away, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman far and away, the biggest clubs in England. Like we have, whatever you want to call it, the Vavavoom, they've got it. Liverpool and Manchester United are the two biggest clubs in England. If you're thinking about Newcastle or Manchester United, I'm a little bit perplexed because Newcastle may not be in the Champions League in a year's time, and we might be in the Champions League in a year's time. So if that's the thing you're thinking about, it's very short-lived potentially. Also, Newcastle, with all due respect, have been snubbed by Delap, Pedro, Mbeumo, I can't even remember, Ekatike, Guehi, so many players for a reason. I don't know what that reason is. I can speculate that they don't want to go to Newcastle or they don't really fancy Newcastle or whatever, but they have been snubbed a lot. And whilst Man United are 15th and crap, we're still Manchester United. And there is a huge difference. And I don't want to be disrespectful to Newcastle, but it is. There is a huge difference between Newcastle United and Manchester United. And I'm sort of confused as to why Cesco is thinking this through. Not in a criticism way. All I would say to Cesco is the minute you sign for Manchester United, it's going to be very different to when you sign for Newcastle. Now, if you want a quiet life and you don't want to be in the papers much, go to Newcastle. If you want to be, spoken about, come to Manchester United. So I don't really understand what the difference is that he's thinking about, because yes, you get to play in the Champions League with Newcastle, but Newcastle ain't ever going to be Man United. Newcastle know that. Like, they're never going to be Manchester United. This is an opportunity that he needs to understand. I mean, apparently his agent's a Manchester United fan. I would be stunned if he doesn't choose us. And if he doesn't choose us, fair play to Newcastle, I will applaud them because I'm not being disrespectful. If he chooses Newcastle, well done, and we've absolutely messed it up. But I can't see why you would choose Newcastle over Manchester United. There has to be a reason here. And I just wonder whether it's the package, the financial package of whether Leipzig will accept it. But the news is apparently, if he chooses us, we'll bid. So it can't be that. So I don't really know what he's thinking about, because he's only just 22. If you're worried about not being in the Champions League for a year, you're going to be the starting striker for Manchester United. And we're at rock bottom. The only way is up. Back yourself. Take the challenge. That's what I would say. Manchester United are continuing talks on Cesco, who is yet to make a decision. That call could come in the next few days, with Newcastle forcing the issue by making a bid. At Old Trafford, discussions with Cesco's agents are taking place on wages and fees, which indicates Amorim adding the striker to his squad is plausible, despite reports in Slovenia stating he had chosen Newcastle. That's from Laurie Whitwell in The Athletic. So, look, I stand where I've always stood in relation to Cesco. I think he'll sign for Manchester United. I think we're going to get a let's go Cesco. And if we don't, I'd be massively confused. Cesco started following United on Instagram. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The after show is going to be great. Oh, my God. Somebody tell him. Somebody tell him. Just move on. Yeah, just move on. At the end of the day, we are Manchester United, says Carlo Champers. Carlo, thank you very much. Amorim's the first manager with the bottle to flog these lazy prats and demand professionalism. What the hell has been going on with this club, says Corey. Well, I want to get into Amorim's comments, of course. The problem is, if Cesco says he wants United, Newcastle back off and United try their luck with lower bids than asking price, Brentford all over again, says Ghost92. Look, I like that Newcastle are involved. It speeds the process up. I like it. From all Man United managers after Sir Alex Ferguson, who did you think was the best or you wish he was backed by the owners? Mourinho. Sesco is thinking because Manchester United hasn't made a bid, says Andre. Isak to Liverpool, Cesco to Man United, Newcastle with no obvious striker is a chess move, increasing our chances of securing fifth in the Champions League, says Mystic Recipe. Lucas says, breaking, Sir Jim Radcliffe, INEOS is the new manager, partial owner. Ibrahim, he's there again with another brilliant shot. Cesco holding out for Man United but won't commit until he's confident it will happen. If he commits and it doesn't happen, he may lose his move, says Chris. It's basically a game of chicken and I see us losing, says Barry. Uncle Mark, Delilah says hello, says Cufflin. There we go. Hi Mark, do you think Cesco's decision would have been finite if we had European football, or are we not that club anymore, says Spin? Mate, if we had European football and loads of money, of course he'd choose us. Kaya says, United has been a career killer for 10 years. Cesco should go to Newcastle. Their striker has doubled in value, while United give away their players on loan. Swaney says, Bet365 and many other bookmakers have United as favourites to sign Cesco as of this afternoon. Champers, says Swaney. Yeah, well, I can't wait to give it to Keith. Cheggers. Cesco saga is like the sequel to the Gyökeres saga with the same predictable ending, sadly. Should have stuck with Watkins or Mateta, says Mickey. We've never bloody been in for Mateta. I like Mateta, but we've never been in for Mateta. Let me get this right. Onana and Rasmus, who were statistically the two worst Man United players in this shit side, have been asked to leave but both want to stay and fight for their place. It's an absolute disgrace, says Abraham. Cesco, I've done that one from Hypochondriac. Thoughts on Broha to Burnley, says Bob. No thoughts. Hitchy, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. And if we get Donnarumma, will you get oiled up? I think that sounds like a fantasy, Alex, on a Saturday night that I don't want to be part of. He must be thinking we've been a graveyard for the last 10 years, players not fulfilled potential. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. If Benjamin Cesco is worried about scoring goals at Manchester United, we're not that team anymore. We've got rid of the selfish players. We haven't got Rashford, Anthony, Sancho or Garnacho anymore. We've got rid of the people that shoot and don't pass. Cunha and Mbeumo have got assists pouring out of their veins. Go up front for Manchester United, get chances, score goals. We're going to the moon. Get on board because we're called NASA. If we want players that want to come and he takes too long to think about it, let's get Watkins, says Aidan. And he must be thinking we've been a graveyard. I've done that one from Eamon McAllister as well. On the chance Cesco doesn't choose United, where to next, says Dino? Probably Watkins. Smart move by United in regards to future transfers, says Gary. Newcastle have had the same manager for 4 seasons, whereas we haven't had a manager last more than 3. Development and stability, that's the difference in my mind, says Brandon. Gabrielle's gifted 5 memberships. Absolute legend. Thank you very much. Right, let's get into some of these Ruben Amorim comments because this is the stuff. This is the champers tonight. And look, give a shout out to the new light line. Just added something. You know, I'm always looking to add things, but you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to overdo it. Amorim on the new Carrington. He says it's like a fresh start with different standards, and I think moving into a new building is like taking a fresh start. I think the timing is completely perfect to do everything. Everyone agrees on what we need to do, which is to win matches, try to win every match, one by one, and performances are also important. What are you talking about, Ruben? I don't really get that one. Let's move on to a better one. He says the good days are coming. Yes, we will have bad days and good days, but for everything I've told you about the club's organisation, the idea of signing players with a certain character, that's the whole club, not the coach. Even without Europe, this club has various revenue streams and all the tools needed to return to the top. I've got another, can I ask a question? Oh, I forgot it was an MUTV interview because it's bloody propaganda. I want to ask a question here. The good days are coming. What is classed as a good day? This is, look, I get it. Ruben Amorim sat down with MUTV. It's like, it's beige. It's like, it's PR. It's a political statement. There is no comeback. There is no good questions that can be asked to probe. But the good days are coming. What are the good days, Ruben? I'm not being critical here. I'm a Man United fan, like many of you, who wants a little bit more detail. What are the good days? The good days are coming, yes. What is a good day? Is it beating Liverpool but finishing 10th? Is it winning the league? Is it winning the FA Cup and finishing 7th? Is it top 4? What is a good day? As the manager of Manchester United, what is a good day? What is a good standard? What is the standard we are going for? I want to know that. I also want to know, without Europe, this club has got various revenue streams and all the tools needed to return to the top. Could you please explain to me what these revenue streams are? Because I've seen them with Liverpool and I've seen them with Chelsea. What revenue streams do we have without Europe that can compete with Liverpool? Liverpool have just earned £300 million in one season. 100 from the Champions League, 200 from the Premier League. What revenue streams do we have? Ornstein Bomber! 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 Liverpool, Leipzig view Newcastle offer as insufficient. Newcastle proposal after Leipzig asked interested clubs for 75 plus add-ons plus sell-on. Man United pursuit also continues, but no bid yet. Rejection. Rejection. Bid rejected. Bid rejected. No deal. Bid rejected. Sit down, Keith. Sit down, Keith. Bid rejected. Newcastle. RB Leipzig offer for Benjamin Cesco insufficient. Newcastle's proposal of 75 million euros plus 5 is not sufficient. Weird. What does that actually mean? So Leipzig view Newcastle's offer as insufficient. Newcastle's proposal was 75 million euros plus 5 after Leipzig asked interested clubs for 75 million plus add-ons plus sell-on. Man United pursuit also continues, but no bid yet. So basically, Leipzig want the sell-on clause as well. Ooh, they can have bloody Santa Claus for all I care. So Newcastle bid rejected. There we go. That's bad for us. Well, it is bad for us because it means Leipzig. Look, I said this before. Leipzig, they're right fuckers. They really are. They're doing it to Chelsea with Simmons as well. They really are fuckers. 75 million euros plus 5 million euros plus a sell-on clause as well. And what's the sell? I mean, that's a fucking piss take, that is. That is a bit of a piss take. So you basically give them 65 million quid plus 5 in add-ons takes it to 7. And then if you sell him in 3 or 4 years for 100 million, you probably have to give Leipzig another 20. So it is a lot. It is a lot that they're asking for there. But look, is that good for us or is that bad for us? I mean, it's good that Newcastle's had a bid rejected, but to be honest with you, I would rather, I'd rather that it had been accepted, because then it prompts us to have to do something. Yeah, and we do also. Ben Jacobs just dropped a cracker. Bruno Fernandes plans to stay at least one more year at Man United. Al Nassr made an informal approach following on from Al Hilal's attempt. Fernandes' position remains firm. He wants to stay at Man United and continue playing in Europe. I mean, you know what? I mean, look, there's 2 big stories to talk about there. Bruno wants to stay for one more year. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about, I'll stay for one more year. I mean, if Bruno's staying, I want 3 or 4. I don't want 1. But look, back to what we were talking about. N says Newcastle is a small club. Get Champions League once and then they think they're big dogs. They think they can compete with the Liverpools and Uniteds. Just embarrassing, says N. 60 million plus freedom fighter. Take it or leave it, says Carlo. And how are we going to get him 75 million rejected, says Sam Morrissey. Well, I don't know. I don't know. So, look, we are going to be talking about Amorim's interview, but Leipzig have rejected Newcastle's bid of 75 million euros plus 5 because they want a sell-on clause on there as well. I mean, I presume that Newcastle will go back in and put the sell-on clause in there, but it just delays it a little bit, really. Sky Sports Keith says, Benjamin Cesco really likes the Newcastle project, and it's likely Newcastle's United bid will be accepted by Leipzig. Someone tell Keith it's been rejected. I've seen a video of him sat in his bloody car, you Poundland Goldbridge. Keith, have it. Sit. He is sat down. He's sat in his car in the passenger seat because you're a fucking passenger, mate. You're not in the driving seat here, scratching your beard, touching your neck. You ain't him. You ain't him, Keith. You got a baseball cap on and you're in your 50s. You're touching your ear now. Yeah. Now he's scratching your neck. Yeah. You're not used to this camera life. Benjamin Cesco really likes the Newcastle project, and it's likely Newcastle's United bid will be accepted by Leipzig, according to Sky Sports' Keith, who basically just gets told things by Newcastle. The only source he's got is Newcastle. Newcastle Brown Ale. Yeah, it's been rejected, Keith. It's been rejected. It's not likely. It's been rejected. Go and scratch your beard. Put your cap on. Yeah. These clips are going to be funny if it goes to Newcastle. Well, yeah, but I'm not negotiating. I'm not negotiating. We should get this deal done. Absolutely. But look, it's been rejected. Honestly, I did want the Newcastle. I wish Keith was right on this one. He was right about the bid this morning, but he's got a bit overconfident. He started doing videos from his car. He thinks he's a bloody YouTuber, and he's realised it's not easy. Not everyone can do it, because now you've been caught in 4K saying the bid will get accepted and it's been rejected. It has been rejected. I wish it had been accepted. I don't think it's necessarily a good thing that it's been rejected, because Leipzig are fucking difficult to deal with. I mean, I think that was a good offer by Newcastle. I'd rather it had been accepted, we match it, and then we get him. I don't like the fact that Newcastle have put a good offer on the table and Leipzig are saying we want a sell-on clause as well, because we're not going to like that. We're not going to like that. I don't like that. I don't like £65 million and add-ons and the sell-on clause. I think that's a fucking piss take. He's 22. I like Cesco, but he's 22. He's not the finished article. He's never played in the bloody Premier League. A sell-on clause as well. As I said, it's yeah, but look, let's see. But United have publicly gone for this player, so let's wait and see. How do I contact you about That's Football promoting our fantasy football games, says Mark Deacon. That's footballmedia@gmail.com. One minute. Just sending a message to Fabrizio. Did I just say that? No, it's Keith, really. Chelsea are on ingoing talks for... Sorry, this is I like this. I enjoy this. I really, really do, because... Look, we've been doing this for 10 years, and we have a great chat, and we can talk about squirrels, but we've actually got so much going on. It's incredible. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right hand corner. We're nearly at 40 million subscribers. We're not. We're at 2.1. What's your upper limit on Sesco's potential, Mark? Could Watkins and goalkeeper, because Onana leaks goals and the teams might suffer from that through that season? Look, Rahul. I would be happy with Watkins and a goalkeeper over Cesco and no goalkeeper. That's my stance. But you're talking to somebody that's going to back Cesco to the hilt, because I've already seen certain United fans and certain journalists loading the bullets against him already. I will back him. I think he's a good player, and I will back Amorim, and I will back Barada, and I will back Wilcox, and I will back this player. If that's what we're going for, I will back it. When it was Watkins or Cesco, I was sort of 50-50, but we've gone for Cesco now. We're not fucking pulling out. We're not losing to Newcastle. We get the deal done, and we don't polish a turd by saying, oh, well, let's go and get Watkins. If we were going for Watkins, you go for Watkins. We've gone for Cesco, so we bloody better get him, and I will back him like most of you. That's what we've chose to do. That's what we're going to do. That's what we have to do. I don't want to talk about Watkins now. I like Watkins, but that's second best now. We've gone for Cesco. We need to get the deal done. I back him. On his potential, Rahul, Newcastle wanted him. Newcastle want him. Arsenal wanted him. We want him. That's his pedigree. This ain't bloody... Look, I like Rasmus. I really like Rasmus, but we were the only ones in for Rasmus after one season at Atalanta. Cesco's been scouted by us for about 4 years. Chelsea were looking at him 2 years ago. Arsenal have been looking at him for the last 18 months. Newcastle want him. He has a very good pedigree. He's not some, unknown. Chelsea are in ongoing talks for Chelsea. Garnacho, his top choice. United want 42. Chelsea prefer 30 to 35. A loan deal like Sancho is possible. Talks took place in the last 4 to 5 days. I assure you, says Ibrahim. Thank you. Done that one. Sesco's personality is different from Rasmus. He will be someone annoying to opponent defenders, and that will liberate the 10s to move freely, says Mohammed. Do you know if we will start the under-23 player? Yeah, I'm not reading that. Scott Page, welcome. Thank you very much for gifting 5 memberships. Is it end of the tunnel lights or is it a train coming, says Nazir. Aiden says, they know that Newcastle are desperate with the Isak situation and how limited the striker market is. No doubt we will be robbed as well. Look, Aiden, I know people and I actually thought Arsenal were going to sign Cesco. I really did. We are now seeing how Gyökeres at 55 million, you can see why Arsenal went for Gyökeres. And I'm not saying that they weren't going to go for Gyökeres anyway, but they spent a month deciding on the two. And you've got Gyökeres for 55 million and you've got Cesco for 65 million with a sell-on clause. Like, Leipzig have just really... really made this deal very difficult for everybody, whether it be Arsenal, Newcastle or United. They have made it very difficult. And look, I respect the fact that his agent said we're not here to make things difficult for Leipzig. We respect Leipzig and what they've done for us. They're going to do that. Cesco's whole career has been part of the Red Bull group. Salzburg, Leipzig, they're going to be respectful to the Red Bull group. But I'm telling you now, with all due respect, Leipzig are taking the piss. Whether he goes to Newcastle, whether he could have gone to Arsenal, or whether he comes to United, they are taking the piss. Like, what they're asking for is a piss take in this market. Victor Gyökeres has just gone for 55 million plus add-ons. Osimhen has gone to Galatasaray for, what, 40, 50, I don't know. They're asking for 65 million plus add-ons and a sell-on clause. They are asking a lot for a 22-year-old who isn't proven in any other league other than the Bundesliga. They are making it difficult. I like Cesco. I want Cesco, but they are taking the piss a little bit. And Newcastle's offer, I think, was fair. We're probably playing a clever game here, waiting to see what Newcastle get accepted. We're probably playing quite a clever game, actually, because if we start bidding with Newcastle, Leipzig can start... I mean, Leipzig have probably sat there rubbing their hands together going, well, we'll reject this, see what Newcastle come back in, and then Man United are going to have to match it anyway. So Leipzig have got a really good situation going on here. So bid rejected, according to Ornstein. Keith's crying. At this point, what's the point of selling Bruno, says Shahin? Well, we're not anyway. This means Roy Erasmus has to go, non-negotiable. What happened to ruthless aggression, Mark, says Blake? I want 2 strikers up front. 60 million, we've done that from Carlo. Newcastle have done that one. How are we going to get him 75 million rejected, says Sam? Let's all laugh at Catastro Keith, says Ket Gems. I think I've ruined that for you, Gems. I'm apologising. Newcastle on to special club for the agreement, says Yanni. Do you think Liverpool will turn to Cesco? No, Sebastian. They want Isak. This does not bode well. Can we match a higher bid, says Andre. Ruben Radcliffe has arrived, says David. And what would be a decent return from the 2 new boys? 10 goals and 10 assists each? I'd be happy with that, D. Rob Taff, welcome to the Members Club. It's a game of Cesco, says Rooney. And if we want players that want to come and he takes too long to think about it, let's get Watkins, says Aid. Now, you can't pivot. Like, Villa will be a tough deal to do Watkins, by the way. He must be thinking, okay, right, I want to carry on with Amorim's comments because that's what I was enjoying anyway. I just want to draw your attention to this, by the way. Sent this by Matt, our producer. Fabrizio reported last week that Leipzig and Cesco have a gentleman's agreement with certain special clubs. Man United may not even have to match Newcastle's bid. That's true. That's true. And you know what? I get it enough. I get it enough. When I've said things in the past, I have to own it. Things change, opinions change. I remember that being said as well. Is that going to disappear into the ether? Was it true? Was it bollocks? Who are the special clubs then? Because I remember that. Who are these special clubs that they have to accept £60 million for? And is it us? Because I tell you what, that'll be absolutely hilarious if Newcastle have got to do a bid that's better than ours to get the deal done. But I remember reading that at the time. And look, be interesting to see if we get any clarity from Fabrizio on that in the future, because who are the special clubs? If there's special clubs, I would say Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, Liverpool, PSG, Bayern Munich, 6. And I wouldn't imagine Bayern Munich would be 1 because they play in the same league. So I know who it ain't. It ain't fucking Newcastle. There's no way it's Newcastle. So look, it'd be interesting to see if that's actually true. I don't think it's true, if I'm being completely honest, but it'd be interesting to see if it is. Thank you very much to Matt for that. Okay, I want to carry on going through some of Amorim's comments because they are very, very good. But obviously, I'm very aware that there is stuff coming out. Newcastle United's 80 million bid euro bid for Cesco has fallen short of Leipzig's valuation. What? Yeah, oh yeah, it was 75 plus 5, wasn't it? Which is 65 plus. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's fine. I get mixed up between euros and pounds. Yeah, apologies on that one. Okay, let's carry on with some of the stuff that Amorim was saying, because I hadn't even hit his best quote. But we were talking about the good days are coming. He was talking about, look, this really interested me because I think football changed this summer. I've never seen a team win the league and then, have the best transfer window they've ever had. A team that's basically going to spend close to £500 million. Liverpool have spent ridiculous money that they've earned this summer, having won the league. They won't rest on their laurels. So when Ruben Amorim says, even without Europe, this club has various revenue streams and all the tools needed to return to the top, I have to say, I'd love to ask him. I like Amorim. I like Amorim, but I'd love to sit here and say, Ruben, I really want to say bollocks, but I'm not. I'm going to say, please explain that. Can you please explain how a club that's nearly £1 billion in debt has revenue streams to compete with clubs that are earning £300 million in prize money that we're not getting? Where are these revenue streams coming from? Because if you talk about shirt sales or merchandise or ticket sales, Liverpool, Man City and Arsenal all have those as well. So where are these revenue streams that you're saying we've got without Europe that can help us compete? Because Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal are all going to earn around 100 million more than us from being in the Champions League this year. Where do we make that money up? I don't agree with. I'm sorry, that's just noise. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that we cannot be in Europe and compete with clubs that are earning £200-300 million more than us. Where the fuck is that coming from? And on top of that, Ruben, we're paying £40 million a year in debt, in interest on the debt. So where is this money? And look, those sort of statements need calling out. Not because I'm anti-United, not because I'm anti-Amorim. I'm completely not. But those sort of things get said, and people believe them. And I want to believe it, but I want to know. We're in debt, mate. We're paying interest on the debt that doesn't clear the debt every year. We're not in Europe. We're not getting the £100 million. We finished 15th. Liverpool probably earned about another £100 million than we did in the Premier League as well. Where does this money come from? Where are these revenue streams that make that gap up that every other club hasn't got? I don't agree. I don't agree with that. What toothbrush do you use, says Bob? Electric. Newcastle also invited this by publicly inferring they will pay anything, says Emily Derry. Let's not forget that there's a gentleman's agreement between Cesco and Leipzig for a reasonable fee for clubs that he deems special. We've just spoken about that to be so. Manion, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Ibrahim says, Onana is ready to dance naked in the street just to stay at the club. Okay, that's just a bit kinky. Cesco's finishing reminds me of Van Persie, says Connor. Oh, Robin Van Persie. Don't understand the annoyance at Leipzig wanting a sell-on clause. We do it with our players. Also not annoyed at them rejecting Newcastle bid as it shows United exactly what it will take to get him, says Nick Collins. Used to be a Nick Collins on Sky Sport. Sell-on clauses are irrelevant as we hardly ever sell a player for more than we paid for them, says Dane. And I must say I do like squirrels. You're a legend, Mark, says Tyrant. Never failed to make me smile. Been watching you guys for the last 4 or 5 years. You're a legend, Tyrant. Thank you very much for being with us. Steg says, if we go for a centre midfielder, I know a lot like Belieber, but let's talk about Stiller. Been hoping we'd sneak in with a bid, but now he's done his ligaments. I think Yulmlin is the player we'll go for in the midfield if we go for something big. Thanks for being a member for 58 months, Scott. You're a legend. Yasso says, do you reckon that one of the reasons Newcastle have sent their bid is to encourage another bid from Liverpool for Isaac? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know on that one. This question was really interesting. On Amorim, on board support. So have the board supported him? Try to find a coach in a big club who has lost so many matches and kept his job. You will not find one. If that's not support, I don't know what is. I will continue to do my job. I learned a lot last season and I think we will be better. So when asked about whether he's been supported, then he is definitely saying that he is being supported. He says to hear people that are backing me and telling me I'm doing a good job after last season is very important. I know that results are everything in football, but I feel the support from people and I want to deliver. So Amorim is saying that he has been supported by the board because they've kept him in a job after last season. I mean, again, look, I don't think you've been backed, Ruben. I really don't. I think you've had no sales. You've had 2 players in. You've not had a striker. You've not had a goalkeeper. We're 2 weeks away from the start of the league. And I don't think you've been supported because they kept you in a job. I think it's their fault. They brought a guy who plays a different system in the middle of the season and told him to crack on with a bunch of players that couldn't play a system that they know how to play. No wonder we fell apart with a bunch of players that can't play a 4-3-3 being asked to play a 3-4-3. INEOS and the Glazers are fully responsible for what went wrong last season, not you. I don't think that's support standing by you. I think they're responsible for that. And I think the support of you was meant to happen this summer and it hasn't happened. Nowhere near as it happened. So I wouldn't be grateful that they kept you in a job because you lost a load of games because of them. I'd be asking why am I not getting the players in that I need to play my system? We've seen with Dorgu already. In a short space of time, your one signing looks good. And I'm sure Cunha and Mbeumo will be, but you need a lot more. You need a lot more than that. He said, we're always looking to improve the team. We have some characteristics that we would like to have. It depends on the market and on the sales. Talking about transfers. He said, just a few other things. It's a key point on Mbeumo and Cunha. It's no longer just about how they play, even though that's important. We took a lot of time to get to know the players, to talk to everybody before bringing players into the group. That will be massive in our decision. I mean, look, this is something, again, it's an open goal. I mean, I look at someone like Jadon Sancho, who on the face of it looked like a brilliant signing, but we clearly hadn't done any checks on personality and work rate and anything like that. We just saw a player in Dortmund in the Bundesliga doing well and went, that'll do for us. It amazes me because Sir Alex Ferguson used to do this 30 years ago. He'd look at the background of a player, you know, how they behaved, etc. And United just seem to switch off on that blueprint. So it's good that we're doing that again. He says it's a key point in our way to do things. It's not just how they play. It's really important because the character is really important, which is absolutely spot on. He says on cultural changes, it's hard to talk about because it seems like I'm saying bad things about the last years. But I think in every detail, we're better in the organisation of the day by day. The nutrition is better, how we prepare training. I think we have people now that help us to be better. I'm not concerned with small things, and I was in the last year. That helps me, and it's a big help for the players. I mean, as I said at the start of the video, it's shocking that you know we've you know, nutrition and timekeeping and everything else like that is just not been adhered to. He says the players are working really hard. They've understood that they must give 100%. If they don't, it will be hard for them here. So that's also important. So players weren't giving 100% before, really. He says, I feel in the group now that if someone comes to the team, I will not have to fight the fight. And I felt that last year. I now feel that I have a group and a leadership that will help me with that kind of situation. So effectively, he came into a team that wasn't giving everything, and now they're giving everything. I mean, it's so sad that that is classed as improvement. It's so sad that that is classed as a positive. That Amorim is saying that when he first came to the club, he had a squad that wasn't giving everything, and now he has, and that's a huge positive. I mean, look, I hope these are going to be marginal gains. I'm sure they will be. But it's disgusting that he has to say that we've now got people who are giving everything, whereas before they weren't. You know, Amorim, with all due respect, hasn't even been here a year. The United stand's been running for 10 years. Many of us have supported United for decades. But in the last 10 years, you're telling me, factually, the manager is basically saying they weren't trying. So we've been watching United, getting frustrated. Some of you have been getting up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and those players weren't giving everything. That's what Amorim's basically saying. Because, yeah, it's great to say we're in the now. And look, also, I don't totally believe it. Every manager, I remember when Ollie took over from Mourinho, the players weren't fit enough. When Ten Hag took over from Ollie, the players weren't fit enough. And now Amorim's taken over from Ten Hag, the players aren't fit enough. I mean, it gets used all the time. But I do agree that, you know, they clearly haven't been giving enough. He was asked about what was on his mind when he returned to pre-season. I said I was confident because I already knew what to do and we had a clear idea of the group we wanted and the feeling that the pressure is on and we have to deliver this year. The team is my image, so I couldn't be happier when they perform. They give everything, and that's the most important thing. The group is very good. We can give even more with the same players, and the work we did behind the scenes regarding Cunha and Mbeumo to get to know the players was important because they are everything we expected. Great guys and good players. So look, we're slowly starting to build a team that actually wants to work hard, but it's amazing that we had to start from that low point. But look at what happened last season, I suppose. It's there for us all to see. Where's that gone? So look, an interesting interview from Amorim, but look, it was with MUTV. You're probably not going to get anything more than that. Al9 says, Ben Jacobs saying Man United are still at the table, saying to them that Man United are favourites. Mate, obviously Ben Jacobs is on the channel every week. Fabrizio's been on the channel. I really like David Ornstein. You know, there's other good journalists out there. If I'm being completely honest, and I don't want to disrespect anybody, I don't think anybody knows anything. I don't think anything. I don't think anybody knows anything. I certainly don't think Alex Crook is getting exclusives. I really don't. I don't know why he's suddenly considered to be a transfer guru. It's Ornstein and Romano. It always has been. And Ornstein's led on this story, and I think Ornstein will finish it off. I think everybody else is just on his coattails. He was the guy that broke that Man United want Cesco. He's the guy that's broke that the bid has been rejected. I think Romano has had transfers that he's led on, but this is Ornstein, like the same as Mbeumo. And I don't know why sometimes we veer off from that. David Ornstein's the one on this deal, the same as he was on the Mbeumo deal. And the reality is, I think there's a lot of people now, after the Ornstein thing, sort of regurgitating stuff because that's their job, but I don't believe anything's happening. I think Cesco is still making his mind up, and Newcastle have had their bid rejected anyway. So we're effectively back where we were on Thursday, where Newcastle and Man United want Cesco and he hasn't made his mind up. That's where we are. So I know we're begging this, that and the other, but when you listen to Fabrizio Romano and when you listen to David Ornstein, there doesn't seem to be an end in sight that's imminent. I hope there is, but it's always been that Cesco is going to take time. And all we can do, and we've definitely got a bigger fan base, is just be, we want Cesco. We want to back Cesco. And I think he's making a mistake if he goes to Newcastle. I really do. I think Man United, he will know how big it is when he signs, because it will break the internet, like we always do. So, especially on a deal like this. I mean, with Mbeumo, it took 7 weeks. With Cunha, we knew we were getting him. We don't know we're getting Cesco yet. So if we do get him, and I think we will, he'll see how big this football club still is. Might not be on the pitch, but that's what we're trying to buy him for. So, I think where we are is Cesco's the striker we want. Newcastle's bid's been rejected. And here we are. A very hairy Persian says, my father recently passed away. He adored you. Thanks for giving him great memories. His favourite player was Jack Crompton, a United goalkeeper that won the cup in 48. Him and my grandfather saw that match. Well, thank you very much for sharing us that message. And sorry to hear that. And obviously thoughts with you and your family. And thank you very much for being part of this community. More and more people are sharing this sort of stuff. And I think it's really good. I mean, it's not good that obviously people are passing. That's part of life. But it's good that people feel comfortable enough to do it. So thank you very much and sorry for your loss. Nicholas says, Romano cracks me up. He speaks really fast in the great accent. So as it happens, United won't give an offer until Cesco says he wants to come to us. I think that's basically it. Yes, Nicholas. Glazers have invested. Eric Ten Hag just spunked it, says Hambo. No, they didn't invest. Mate, do you understand anything about Manchester United Football Club? The Glazers have never invested a pound. You just don't understand finances. Yes, Ten Hag was given £300 million of Manchester United's revenue. It wasn't the Glazers' money. Glazers have invested. Bollocks. I think United need Proctor, says Jake. Proctor the doctor. What time of day does United tend to send bids in, says PH. Mate, I don't think there's a specific time. What happened with the 70 million agreement for special clubs, says Mario? Well, apparently it's 60. I don't know, Mario. We were talking about that. We'll have to wait and see. What would your limit be before walking away, says Louis? I don't think we are walking away. I mean, it's a great question, but I don't think we are walking away. I go back to what David Ornstein said, was it Wednesday or Thursday? United have homed in on Cesco. I don't think we home in on a player and then walk away. I don't think that's what happens. I think we have a... I don't think we've walked into this blindly going, we don't know what the price is going to be and we don't know whether Cesco wants us. I don't think people understand... Well, I think you do. But I think some people don't understand how significant it is when David Ornstein puts a post out. Because David Ornstein doesn't do stuff day to day. David Ornstein just puts out perlers every now and again. So when he says that Man United wants Cesco and it's the only one they want, he hasn't done that because he thought, oh, today's a sunny day. He's done it because he's been told it. And if he's been told it, it will be from a good source. And if it's from a good source, that means it's from the club. And it's from the club. You don't just go, we want Cesco, but we don't know what the price is and we don't know whether he wants to come. Well, I've had some encouragement somewhere. So I don't think we walk away unless Leipzig move the goalposts. I don't think we walk away. I hope we're one of the special clubs. The question is, why wasn't Arsenal one of the special clubs? All spring we've been told we were sell to buy, but we've not sold no one and bought Cunha and Burma and maybe Cesco. It doesn't add up, says Mr. Polford. Yeah, but it has happened before. We were told we had no money left, and then we spent £130 million on Anthony and Casemiro. Remember that summer? If Man United or Newcastle sign Cesco, that would make at least 5 of the best out-and-out number 9s in the Premier League. This season is going to be very interesting, says Mill. So does this mean that Leipzig don't consider Newcastle meets the special club definition in their gentleman's agreement, says Swaney? Well, yeah, I'm hoping that this special club thing exists because I would imagine that we would be in it and Newcastle wouldn't. But time will tell on that one. I mean, this is a load of bollocks. Newcastle fear Cesco is holding out to a move to Manchester United after seeing their £70 million bid rejected by Leipzig. I mean, this is just poor. I don't know who said that. It's just in the chat. There's no correlation with that. Leipzig and Cesco are two different entities. Your bid's not been rejected because Cesco wants to go to Man United. Your bid's been rejected because Leipzig want more money. They're not. Cesco doesn't reject the bid. Leipzig reject the bid. They're two different entities. Cesco's decision's got nothing to do whether Newcastle's bid gets rejected or accepted. That's Leipzig rejecting or accepting the bid. It's nothing to do with Cesco. So that makes no sense to me. I hope Cesco is more decisive in the box, says WGV. What Toothborough have done that one? Thank you very much. Will Cesco's agent allow him saying he wants United? Says Punch Paint. We'll have to see. Cesco deal's got to be north of 90 million, says Nick. What are you talking about? Thank you so much for the shout out yesterday, says the United Kitchen. We keep grinding and working to build. We will be live after you tonight, so we'll appreciate a raid, please. We owe you an African live show soon, hopefully. I can't raid you. Terry's live, mate. So, but, you know, you've had a shout out there, so thank you very much. I can't raid you, unfortunately. But look, you've had a shout out, and I know for a fact there are channels that wait for us to finish thinking that you'll all go and watch their channels, which is amazing because they slag me off all the time, but they wait for us to finish. When you're big, you're big. We haven't put a bid in yet, as per the Ornstein tweet. What's the hold up? Side note, SummerSlam starts 11 p.m. tonight, says Alex. Lovely stuff. I don't mind United not putting a bid in. I wouldn't put a bid in until Newcastle's bid's been accepted or Cesco says he wants us. I think United's stance at the moment is fine. I'm not criticising United at the moment. I think our play is okay. We will be informed if Newcastle bid gets accepted, and we will be informed if Cesco wants us or not. We don't need to bid at the moment. I'm not going to criticise United on that. I'll criticise United if they lose. I'll criticise United if we miss out on Cesco, but I don't think we're playing a bad game at the moment. We don't need to bid at the moment. Let Newcastle do that. I think Arsenal weren't one of the special clubs because this agreement didn't exist yet. It seems like the deal was done after the Arsenal saga during the time in which no club was in for Cesco, says Tab. Thank you very much for that. Lovely stuff. Okay, right. Let me just have a quick look around. Match tomorrow night. Yeah, I think it's going to be busy. I think it's been busy for the next few days, isn't it? Interestingly, Brentford are going to let Wizard go if they can get a striker themselves, which will be Newcastle. Just having a quick look. When do you think Cesco will make his mind up? Well, I mean, look, I think it could be a few days yet. I mean, I'd love it to be Monday. I'd love it to be tomorrow, but I think it will be a few days yet, to be honest with you, because that's always been the indication from the people in the know. But Ornstein's the guy on this one, 100%. 100%. God, he's an ugly bastard, isn't he? I've just seen another live stream. Fucking twat. Anyway. Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. Amazing community again tonight. But it doesn't finish. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Thank you very much for watching. Obviously, it doesn't finish there because there's a bit of an after show, as we always do. Mohammed is a new member. Thank you very much for that. And who was it you were looking at? As if I would tell you that. Mate, I don't give them any steam. They're obsessed. I don't give them any steam. After show time. Yeah, so I'm going to start off talking about risk averse, right? I was thinking about this today. Like, when I was like 6, I used to go and play out, right? We had no phones. And I don't know whether anyone else used to do this, but I would go out at like 5 o'clock and I'd come home at about 7:30 and I wasn't playing on the street. I'd be playing like half a mile away in the foundations of building sites. And nobody's parents gave a shit. This was standard behaviour in like the late 80s, early 90s, that when you went out and played, you did go. Like, I remember like being like 10, 11, 12, we used to go down the local park, which was about half a mile away. And you'd go on your bike or you'd walk it there and you'd be down there for hours. And then you'd come back and your tea would be in the oven. Like, it just doesn't happen anymore. Oh, you can't go there. You might get mugged. You might get abducted, you know. And the funny thing was, well, it wasn't funny, in the late 80s, there was quite a few murderers out there who used to take kids and abduct them and do horrible things, but we were still allowed to go and play out. It wasn't like our parents were sending us out for that to happen, but it was just the way things were. We live in such a risk-averse society now. It's strange. I always say this, like, I don't like to be the person that harks back. I mean, people, when I was growing up, I hated people who said the 60s were great. I used to go, fuck off back there. But the 90s were really good, and you could say the same thing. But it is incredible. I saw an advert the other day, I don't know whether it was true, where it was a car manufacturer, I forget the name of it. They didn't put a car in it, they didn't mention the car in it, they just had a load of people of all different sexual background, transgender, diversity, age, in lots of different coloured tops, and that was their advert, and it got absolutely panned as woke. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it didn't do anything for their brand. It backfired massively. I just think there's just bad decision makers out there now. Really bad, risk averse. It's incredible. Everywhere people are just so risk averse. It's like when the autumn comes and the trains get cancelled because leaves on the line. Give somebody an excuse, and they love to, you know, have a day off. It's like, I don't know how anything gets done anymore. I think it's just so risk averse, and I don't know how you turn that around, because basically it's cancel culture, it's complain culture. I went out to the pub tonight and I had a meal and I wanted chips and a burger, and the burger had lettuce on it. I've never been so offended in all my life. Well, give me a chance. I'll take the lettuce and shove it up your fucking arse, you moany shit. We've cultivated this, I call it the X Factor generation. Basically, anybody thinks they can be anything. And I think when I was growing up, actually, you had respect for the fact that it was very difficult to do this. It was very difficult to do that. But now, you know, anybody thinks they can do anything. And I don't think it's good. I don't think it's positive. Yeah. I mean, it's like this is just random, but like my daughter plays football. She was playing football 2 weeks ago. She basically went in for a tackle and the ball hit her hard on the ankle, and she couldn't walk, so she came off, and she came home, and I said, oh, what did the physio said? And they said they'll reassess it in a few days. And the next day I looked at it and I went, right, okay, you're basically not going to be able to walk on that for a couple of days, but you'll probably be able to play at the weekend. Went and saw the physio. Oh, well, I'll reassess it in a week or so. They're now talking about her being out for a month. And I'm like, mate, you can walk on it. You're doing dancing with it. We were playing football in the back garden this afternoon. They don't know that. It's like she's absolutely fine. But the risk averse thing is, well, there could be something in there we can't see, that you've got medial ligaments or something like that. There's nothing bloody wrong. Let her play. And then if she plays and it hurts, then you have a little bit more time off, don't you? This happens all the bloody time. These sort of people are probably working at Man United. But you know why I say that? Because yet again, she's 15. When I was 15, that was the best year of my life at football. I've said it before, my Sunday team, we won the cup. My school team, we won 4 cups. And my Saturday team was half decent as well. We had a really, really bad winter that year. Loads of games got cancelled, but they got rearranged for like March, April, May. And because I was playing for so many teams, I basically was playing probably 6 games a week. And I had to go to the doctors because in the 70th minute of every game, I was getting these horrible shooting pains in my shin. And I went to the doctors, and guess what he told me? He said, girl, you better try to have fun no matter what you do, because here's the truth. Nothing compares. No, I went to the doctor, and guess what he told me? He said, you've got shin splints. And I said, okay, what's that? He said, basically, your shins are sort of, I don't know what it is. I don't know what he said. I wasn't listening. I said, okay, it's April. I've got big cup finals coming. What's going to happen? He said, you need to rest for 4 months, and if you're lucky, you'll be okay for the start of next season. I went, okay, you're having a laugh. And he went, I advise you not to play on those. I went back to my coaches and I said to all of them, we've got 3 finals in at the end of May. It's now the middle of April. My plan is I keep playing, but the minute they start hurting, I come off. I mean, I was only 15 at the time. I'm telling grown men what's going to happen. But they were like, okay, that's fine. And I played. And I think by May, it didn't even hurt. I played the full finals. So But the thing is, in that whole season, I played with probably 10 lads the same across all the teams. Nobody ever missed a game. And we were playing 2 or 3 games a week. Nobody ever missed a game. One lad broke his leg and he obviously missed 3 months. But nobody ever got ankle injuries. I'll tell you what, every bloody game I played, I had a swollen ankle or a tight hamstring or anything like that. But you just played. You just played. Nowadays, it's like, oh, I've pulled my hamstring, you're out for 6 weeks. Oh, you banged your ankle, you're out for 4 weeks. Bollocks. It's a load of bollocks. Let them play. Let them play. You're down the pub, you say a few offensive things to people. You've had about 6 pints and the barman says you've had enough. Give me another pint. What's the worst that could happen? I've already said those things. It's not going to get any worse. Yeah, everyone's just risk averse all the time. It does my bloody head in. Oh, you know, this lift says it can only have 8 people in. Oh, we're not having 9 in. Let me in. Let me in. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. What are you doing for the rest of the night? Emailing loads of people about them being too obsessed with health and safety. Oh, the best one is when we get a bit of fucking sun in the UK and it's a drought warning or it's a heat wave. When I was a kid, right, I've said this before as well. Have you noticed, I don't know whether it's like this in America or India or Australia, right? When I was a kid, I used to get Michael Fish on he was a weather reader, right? He would go on the telly and say, tomorrow, and he'd have a picture of England, which was green, well, United Kingdom, which was green, and he'd put the temperature on there with a sticker. Remember the weathermen when they used to put stickers, rain, this, you know, before bloody green screens, they used to stick stickers of the rain or the sun in different areas of the UK, right? And it wouldn't turn red because it was over 26 degrees, it was green. And then about sometime in the last decade, if the temperature went above 26 now, the whole country goes red. Risk averse, health and safety. It's over 26 degrees. We're going to melt. We're literally going to melt. The UK's going to melt. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Somebody think of the women and the children. What are we going to do? Lifeboats out. You know, drought warnings. Oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? It's like, what? 26 degrees. It's crazy. It really is. Risk averse. Risk averse. Madness. We are so risk averse now. We would, you know, we are so risk averse. Look, we've never had it so good. You've never had it so good. You're walking down the street and a gang of lads like spot you and they might want to beat you up or steal your dinner money. You got a phone in your hand. Before they get near you, swipe. Please, I'm here, help me, help me, help me. You've got phone tracking, everything. In the olden days, well, the 90s, you're going to get beat up and lose your dinner money. Unless you're quicker than them. All you had was your speed. And I'm not talking about drugs. We're so bloody... We've never had it so good and we're so fucking moany. That's what I think. We're so bloody moany now. We're so risk averse. It's too comfortable. Exactly. Too bloody comfortable. Keith Cracker says who to blame. No, it's Ben Jacobs with the cracker. When I was 12 at Everton and snapped my elbow in half, I was goalkeeper, so it ruined my career. I was out for 18 months. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's not being risk averse. You did break your ankle. You've broken your elbow. You can't use your arm. Definitely he votes reform. No, I don't do politics. It's not political to say that we are very risk averse now. It's got nothing to do with anything to do with reform or Labour. We are very risk averse. I think we've gone the other way. I'd start my own political party. It'd be good fun. Everybody's welcome, but there are rules. We were very active in the 80s and 90s. We got hurt a lot, but still showed up. We played for each other, says Tony. Yes. Oh, God. Jumpers for goalposts. Barbed wire. No one even knows what that is. Nettles. The kids today know what... the kids today know the damage nettles can do? No. Barbed wire. You'd be probably saying, what's that? Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days. Mini Nugget says, been loving the shows. Any advice on asking a crush out? Just do it. Let's go. Just do it. Here we go, Fabrizio Romano time. Walk up to them. Don't slap them on the arse. You'll go to prison for that. You can't do that anymore. And that's not being risk averse. You should never have been doing that. Walk up to them, bang your arm on the table. What are you having? Don't get them to buy you a drink. None of that bloody risk-averse diversity shit. Would you like a drink? I've been admiring you for a while. Yeah, you probably can't even do that anymore. I've been watching you for a while. I'm calling the police. I think you're quite attractive. Well, that's being very objectionable. Can I buy you a drink? Oh, what, you're going to put something in it? Oh, I'm glad I don't have to do any of that shit in 2025. You can never slap a woman on the arse or a man. That's you will get into trouble for that. As a colleague of mine found out a few years ago, you can't do that. But I don't even know what you would do now. You know, if you see someone you like at a bar and you walk up to them and you say, "Do you want to buy a drink?" You're probably going to get a load of shit because, oh, you're saying I'm an alcoholic? No, you could have an apple juice. Well, no, I'm allergic to apples. Are you trying to kill me? Literally, I'm just asking if you want a drink. Why? Do I look like somebody that's easy? I'm literally asking you for a drink so we can start a conversation. Yeah, I'll leave it. I've made a big mistake here. You know what? I initially thought you were somebody nice, but you're clearly not. Oh, so you were judging me on my looks? Yes, because your personality fucking stinks. Have it. Jack was woke. That's why he died and Rose lived on, says OTG. I've been loving the shows. Thank you, Mini Nuggets. Sticky Buds says Oten. Oh, Sticky Buds, I remember them. Great times, says Andres. Mate, I would still love to ring up my mates in our 40s and say, let's get down the local park at 4:30 for a kickabout, jumpers for goalposts. Trouble is, most of them wouldn't be able to do it. I'd love that. And then after that, let's go down the bar, play a bit of pool, and just have a few pints, listening to Stone Roses and Oasis on the jukebox, playing a bit of pool. I'd do it tonight. I'd love to. Love to do it. And then we can maybe go home and have a bit of a FIFA tournament and order a takeaway. Those days are gone, but we lived them. I think if you are somebody who's in your teens or your your early 20s, grab it. Like, look at what we used to do, look at what you're doing, and grab it. I think. Look, I love the gym culture. I don't do it, but I love the fact that the youth of today don't drink as much and they're really interested in the gym and everything. My only question is, why are you interested in the gym? Are you interested in the gym because of health? Are you interested in the gym because that's what you see on Instagram and that's what you think that, you know, happiness is? Because happiness can be found in a pub talking to your mates, having a couple of pints on a Saturday night. I hated my job when I was like 19. But Friday, I fucking loved Friday. I loved Thursday as well. Thursday, I'd go out with the lads. I'd always be hungover on a Friday. And by Friday lunchtime, I'm only 19, I was an apprentice. Friday lunchtime, I'd use the boss's phone because he'd always go out for a lunchtime pint. So I'd sneak in his office. I'd ring my mum up. I'd say, "Can you go down the co-op and get me 4 cans?" She'd say, "Why?" I'd say, "He asks me this every week because I want 4 cans." So she'd go and get me 4 cans. I'd get home about 5:30, quick shower, 6 o'clock, TGI Friday, TFI Friday with Chris Evans, one of the best shows ever. Couple of cans getting ready. And then 7 o'clock, come down, have my tea, 7:30, down the local. Bam. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. I'm coming up and I'm coming. Hi, Mark. I'm in the pink. Hi, Mark. Life advice needed. Just finally got my completion day for my first property to buy just before my 24th birthday. Well done. Any tips for first-time buyers? Well done, Cameron. 24 and on the property ladder. Well done. Enjoy it. Your first house is always important. Enjoy it. My generation is absolutely screwed, says Jack Glancy, and I'm 22. Is my generation absolutely screwed? No, I just think that when I was in my early 20s and late teens, I worked to live, and I didn't work to go down the gym and have a healthy body. And, you know, maybe I should have done, but actually I wouldn't swap it for the world. I loved socialising, playing football, watching football. I hated work, but I loved socialising. And, you know, I used to love the weekend and just going out and drinking and, you know, socialising and playing pool and listening to music and going to concerts. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But gym life wasn't there then. Nobody went to the gym. Nobody went to the gym. I had some of the best years of my life in the UK in the 90s, says Mojo. Met some of the very best people who helped me a great deal, says Mojo. Thank you very much, pal. What are you doing tonight? I'm going to watch a film. Not going to tell you what, because you'll ruin it. But I've been wanting to watch it for a while. And apparently it's quite good. Titanic. It's about a boat that... I don't know the story, actually. It's a boat, a very famous boat. And it's from the early 1900s. And they tell a love story around it. And... it basically goes from Southampton to New York, but something happens along the way. I mean, I think it's probably... As long as it doesn't involve a selfish bitch getting on a door that could have fitted him on as well, and he dies, I'll be fine. But what are the chances of that? What are the chances that the boat's going to sink and this selfish rich bitch is going to climb on a door that could fit them both and make him freeze to death? But I don't think that will happen. I think it'll be a love story where it's just a really uneventful trip across the Atlantic to New York, where they get into funny little scrapes about, you know, oh, you're rich, I'm poor, and she's like, you know, we don't do that in the upper classes, and he says we do here, you know, and it'll be like just a good old romp, you know. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Take care. Oh, Terry's live if you want to go and watch some football chat, by the way. And he is live now, so go and check that out. And I will speak to you on the next one. We're back tomorrow at 10 o'clock unless something happens before. Take care. Buster says, me and my girlfriend are watching from a cabin in Shropshire for our 2-year anniversary. Loving the laid-back show. Been watching since the Jose sacking whilst you were walking through Christmas market. I remember that one, Buster. I was in Manchester. I just ordered myself a coffee. It was 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. I went on my phone and Simon Stone said Jose Mourinho had been sacked, and I was looking out across Manchester's Christmas market, and I had to go live. And I'd love to go and watch that again because I can't remember where I went live, but it was definitely raining. I could probably just type Jose sacked and go, I'm going to do it. Go and enjoy the video with Terry, or go and watch Jose, or go and enjoy your Saturday night. Take care, stay safe, and I'll speak to you all soon.